Welcome to the Member Empowerment Series on fighting crime. We have about 17 people registered in total, so we're going to give it a couple more minutes for people to jump on. We appreciate you being on time for this. Just give us a couple minutes and we'll get started. Okay, out of respect for everybody's time, we're going to get started now. Thank you for coming to this presentation, our Member Empowerment Series on fighting crime. This webinar is being recorded. Your cameras, as you can see, are off, and you are likely automatically muted. If you have any questions along the way, just put them in the chat. Stella and I will both be monitoring the chat, and we will ask our presenter those questions as we move along. So Person-Centered Services provides health home care coordination for nearly 18,000 people with intellectual and developmental disabilities in 18 counties, reaching throughout Western New York, Finger Lakes, and Southern Tier regions. At Person-Centered Services, we begin all of our presentations with our mission, vision, and values. Mission: connect people to the care, support, and opportunities that maximize their quality of life. Vision: a community where all people lead fulfilling lives. And our core values: people, integrity, and trust. My name is Craig Menig. I'm the Member Relations Manager. I'm here with Stella Dupree, who is our Member Relations Specialist. Our contact information is on this slide, and you can contact us in the chat or via email or via phone if you have any needs from member relations. That includes our care coordinators, many of whom are in attendance today. Our main goal with member relations is to really empower our members and their families by providing them resources. So we are here today to talk about the Justice Center of the Southern Tier, and I am turning this over now to our presenter, Beth Clark. Beth, it's all yours.
All right, thank you so much, Craig. So my name is Beth Clark. I am the program coordinator for the Justice Center of the Southern Tier. I'm new to the organization. I joined them last August, and the organization itself is a very new organization. It was formed actually, I'll move forward here. Can everybody see that? I moved forward. Are you able to see that, Craig?
I see the understanding your rights slide still.
Okay, maybe I have to sync.
All right. How about I'll advance the slides for you.
Okay. All right.
Do you see the About the Justice Center slide now, Beth?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So the Justice Center was formed in 2022. It's kind of a pet project of Schuyler County's previous district attorney, Joe Fazzari. Over his years, he's seen so many victims just not necessarily getting the support they need. So he wanted to create this organization that provides a bridge to other resources and helps with all crimes, not just domestic violence and assaults. So he partnered with Pathways Inc. out of Corning, and they opened an office here in Montour Falls in March of 2024. Even though we're located in Schuyler County, we serve all surrounding counties, and we've also served clients beyond as well. So we provide support, trauma therapy, resource referrals for victims of crimes and their families. The mission of the organization is to support and assist victims of crime and their family members to empower them to live free from violence and fear. We use a collaborative process which helps to remove barriers to services, enabling victims to heal and cultivate hope. So the different topics I'll be covering, we'll be going over some different types of crimes, crime statistics and the impacts that it has on the victims, prevention and pro-action tips, and resources that are available to you. So the different types of crimes we'll be going over, we'll be talking about violent physical crimes, phone and social media scams, financial exploitation, and identity theft. So with violent crimes, a lot of times when people think of victims of crimes, you think of violent crimes of somebody getting assaulted, hit, pushed, pulling hair, inappropriate touching, breaking into your home, stealing your items, setting fire to your home or belongings. There's also, we've been seeing an increase in phone scams. You may have received the random text message, that urgent message stating that something has happened with your bank account, or you've won a contest. It's very important to verify directly with if you receive a text stating your bank account is compromised and the phone number that it comes from does not have a caller ID of your bank, to really take that into consideration. So if you look at the picture on here, there's like 5 different areas of concern. So the first one there is the phone number. It's a random number. It doesn't say Pine Creek Bank. Number 2, it asks you to log into your account to verify your identity. And it uses a sense of urgency. It wants you to complete it within 24 hours. You have 24 hours and your account will be lost. So it creates that sense of urgency, and that your account will be closed too. So number 5, the web address there for Pine Creek Bank does not necessarily correlate with the actual web address for your bank. Could be just some letters that are slightly off, or there's numbers added in there. There's also text messages that'll come across impersonating a law enforcement agency, either trying to collect funds for a charity, or sometimes they'll try to say that there's a warrant out for your arrest and you have to pay this fine to not get arrested. Contest is one of the common ones we see. And then also impersonating a relative. Some people receive text messages or phone calls from someone stating they're your grandchild or nephew, niece, and they're trapped somewhere, like their car broke down and they need $500 for a new tire, and they want you to wire that money to them. And it's not your actual family member's phone number. But that's very, very common scam we've been seeing. Okay, next one. Social media is one you're going to see a lot of scam pages pop up. I was trying to find some good real-time examples, but it seems Facebook has done a really good job of blocking these and getting rid of them. But if you notice, like some of your favorite places, like your favorite restaurant, I use the Sauce Boss, who's a local restaurant in Elmira. He does contests almost daily. So sometimes what happens for these Facebook contests, if you like, share, and comment on the post, immediately after you comment or shortly after you make your comment on the contest post, a page that looks similar to the main Sauce Boss page will comment and say you've won the prize and to click this link to claim it. And really that's a spam bot or somebody from another country that's created a fake Facebook page to look like the original restaurant. So some ways to identify a fake social media account. The real ones will have the blue check mark, and that's kind of universal across all of them now. You can get the authentic blue check mark to confirm that that's your page and it's an actual business. If you're not sure if it's the business that's doing the actual commenting on the post, one great new feature they added is it'll have author above their name. And that's the one I put up there for LECOM. They ran a contest and they have somebody who's very active on social media and will reply to comments. And you can see on there that it has author right above the LECOM Event Center name. A lot of times the fake account name is misspelled or has extra characters or a period at the end. And then if there's comments or messages asking you to click a link, don't click that link because they are trying to gather your information. Okay, next one. Identity theft. So this is part of the financial scams. A person uses your personal information to open credit cards, obtain loans, or access your bank accounts. Sometimes how they can get your information through various things, even from using your debit card at like a gas station. I've had that happen where I was getting gas. I went to a conference in Buffalo and got gas. That's the only place I spent at, and immediately, like I think it was that day or the next day, there were suspicious charges. So you always have to keep an eye out for that. Learning about these identity thefts that may have happened to you. You may get phone calls about overdue balances for an account that you don't know about. You see an influx in your mail with credit card offers, and there's unexplained charges on your bank account. So always keep an eye out for those. Okay, next. Before we moved on to that, I realized I should have added in, since we're so close to Valentine's Day, another frequent online scam we've been seeing are romance scams. So if you use dating apps or if you use social media, there are people who will contact you who are usually located in other countries, and they gain your trust and think you might be in a romantic relationship with them, and use that to ask you for money to be sent to them or gift cards. So it's important to be aware of your surroundings if you're in the dating scene as well, especially with Valentine's coming up. So crime statistics, 80% of women and 30% of men with developmental disabilities have been sexually assaulted. Only 19% of these assaults were reported to police, compared to 36% of assaults on persons without disabilities. The rate of violent victimization against persons with disabilities was almost 4 times the rate of persons without disabilities. 18.1% of persons with disabilities face a higher risk of fraud. And the impacts of crime trauma, it's not just a one and done kind of situation. This can carry throughout your life. A person can develop depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress syndrome, or they could try to self-harm. They'll have an increased distrust of people, especially when it comes to those romance scams or identity thefts, or if somebody they once trusted took advantage of them. They could feel shame and guilt and feel like that it may have been their fault in some way. They could sustain physical injuries and, of course, financial loss and bankruptcy. So this page I actually had a hard time with because there's so many different prevention and proaction tips. I just kept adding more and more to it. So it's very important to have those discussions with your loved ones about healthy relationships, intimacy, appropriate touching, and inappropriate touching. I think this is one demographic that gets overlooked in regards to age-appropriate education. So it's important to have that. And if you have questions about something, always ask a trusted person if something doesn't feel right, if how some interaction with another person made you feel like uneasy or anxious. Always ask another person that you trust and talk to somebody. If something happens, talk to somebody. To prevent identity theft and financial crimes, you could freeze your credit score. A lot of people actually do this. Excuse me. If you don't plan on opening any credit cards soon or buying a car or making any big purchase where you might need to utilize a bank, you could freeze your credit score and unfreeze it when you're ready to make that big purchase. So when the credit score is frozen, then no financial institutions can open an account in your name. Update your security settings on social media accounts to private. The more public your social media account is, the more access that scammers can have to your private information. So it's important to go through all of your social media accounts and update privacy settings to private instead of public. Check your credit report often through a trusted source. I did put the link on there for annual credit report. You can also use Credit Karma app on your phone to check it regularly. Monitor your bank statements daily or weekly. If you have the bank app on your phone, it's always good to take a glance at it daily or every couple of days and look at the charges and make sure they match up to what your spending was, to try to catch a charge early on, because I do know that if there is a statute of limitations, so if it gets too far down the road before you notice something, then you may not have any legal recourse or be able to receive compensation for it. Don't click on a link if you are unsure of its source. If you receive an email with a link that you're not sure about, always go to that business's page directly to look for the information instead of going through the email. Same with comments on social media. If somebody comments, replies to one of your comments with a link, make sure that it's a trusted source. If you're entering contests, contest winnings will never ask you to pay money to claim your prize. And then do not purchase gift cards to give the details to someone over the phone or online. That's another common scam I've seen. Those tend to happen directly at the businesses. I know sometimes gas stations have received phone calls trying to get the attendants to activate gift cards and give them the details over the phone, and they've been successful with that. And really, there's so many different prevention and proaction tips and tactics that we could be here for days going over the different things. It's really comes down to, though, asking questions if you're not sure about something, and making sure your information is kept as private and secure as you can.
Beth, I might just to kind of hit on that topic a little bit more in depth. I think it's fair to say that if something doesn't feel right, it probably isn't, right? So as a rule of thumb, if you're seeing something, you're experiencing something, and it doesn't feel right to you, talk to somebody about it. I think a lot of, and Beth, you maybe you could support me in this, but I believe a lot of the reason that crimes are not reported, and therefore there's not follow-up done in response to crimes or with crime victims, is that they feel a little bit embarrassed about reporting these things. I think it's important to say that everybody is vulnerable to these things. This doesn't have anything to do with somebody having an intellectual disability or not. We all, regardless of that, we all are subject to those, subject to people who prey on our vulnerabilities. So if you have a question about something, I know there's a bunch of care coordinators on here, as well as family members and people who receive services. And it goes for everybody, you know. If you have nobody else in your life and your care coordinator is the only one that you have, go to them and ask them, and they can put you in touch with people who are resources like Beth, to get you to help you respond to what you're dealing with.
Absolutely. The scammers do not discriminate. They will try to scam anyone they can, and everyone has been susceptible to scam one way or another. It's just so prevalent in these days, and especially with the advancement of technology, it just gets easier and easier for them to take advantage of people. And there's nothing to be ashamed about. It happens to honestly everybody, at least once in their lifetime. So definitely report any instance of crimes that may come up, even if it's just reporting to somebody you trust to try to get resources that are available to you.
Yeah, I like to tell people that I believe asking for help is a real strength. It's not a weakness. It really speaks directly to your personal empowerment, and you know, keeping quiet does not do that. So be willing to be a little bit vulnerable in that way, where you are willing to speak about things that might feel a little embarrassing, even though they shouldn't be necessarily. But it's if you don't speak about it, nobody knows, and you can't get help.
Absolutely. Okay, so there's a few resources available. I threw a couple of them up there. And remember, you're not alone. There's help available. So there's the Justice Center for the Protection of People with Special Needs. They have a very extensive network of resources, legal experts to help with any crimes against those with special needs or disabilities. I just learned about Lifespan. They have a fraud scam prevention task force. They're a company out of Rochester, but they're also do services in various counties across New York. And they have a support group, a peer support group for those who've experienced financial fraud scams. That's virtual as well. So that information's on there. Your local law enforcement office, if you don't have somebody you could talk to, you can always call them to get advice and speak to a victim services advocate there to learn about the rights in regards to the crime that you've experienced. And of course, the Justice Center of the Southern Tier, we are available. Our office is open Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. We do not have a 24-hour hotline, but we can certainly get in contact with you the next business day to provide any resources.
So Beth, I just want to speak a little bit about as a victim of a crime, it can be very intimidating to contact law enforcement for some people, right? What sort of assistance could the Justice Center of the Southern Tier provide to people in that sort of situation?
Sure. So the Justice Center could provide information about what the process looks like with reporting a crime, what steps you would take, and what the court proceedings might look like. And we work really closely with the district attorney's office, so they can also go over more of the legal side of things with you as well. And a lot of times the local law enforcement offices have a victim services coordinator or advocate on staff. Usually the district attorney's office does. So even if charges aren't filed or the crime isn't fully reported, you can still work with those victim services advocates.
So that's a really good point to bring up to this audience, because that may not be something that people are aware of, that there is a victim advocate. So it's something people really should be asking for, right? When it's appropriate.
Yes. If you think you were subject to a crime of some sort, or you have a loved one who may have been subject of a crime, a victim of a crime, you can definitely reach out to the local law enforcement office for information about victim services advocacy.
Beth, could you just, I feel like I'm putting you on the spot a little bit here, but can you talk a little bit about your local office and what you offer? You gave Stella and I a little bit of a tour of that. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Oh, yes, definitely, since you have some service providers on the line here. So our office is located in Schuyler County. We have a trauma therapist, a trauma specialist therapist here 2 days a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. So we can provide trauma therapy either in person or through telemedicine. And really, there isn't much wait time for getting an appointment. We're usually able to get them in within a week or two. I know some people have referred to us for temporary therapy because it's going to be like 5-month wait before they can see a therapist that's local to them. We have community office, shared community office space here. So if you needed to work out of Schuyler County or meet with a client in Schuyler County, you can come here and utilize the office for free. And then we also have a temporary emergency shelter apartment. So if somebody is in a violent domestic situation and needs a safe space to stay and for the time being, our apartment is usually available for use for up to 7 days. It can be extended a little bit depending on the type of situation. And all of our services are free. That's covered through a grant through Office of Victim Services. So there's no cost to the clients. And we also support the family. So if family members need therapy to help cope with their loved one who was a victim of a crime, we can provide that as well.
And one other thing was your, you have a program where the animals are fostered. Is that correct? When people come to stay at the shelter?
So actually, you can bring your pets to the apartment as well. As probably a limit on the number of pets, but we have allowed pets at the apartment, or we can work with, I know the Humane Society will do a temporary foster home for animals for people who have been left without housing or are leaving a domestic violence situation.
Which is extremely important. We all know how comforting our animals can be to us. So to have to leave them behind in addition to what we're already experiencing can certainly add to the trauma. And have you had much experience? Has your organization, Beth, had much experience in collaborating with other clinical teams and so on?
Yeah, we work closely with a lot of different organizations. That's one of the things that I was kind of hired for because I have extensive experience with doing a lot of outreach and program management. So over the last few months that I've been here, I've been doing a lot of outreach to other agencies, but we work closely with like Catholic Charities of Chemung and Schuyler, the Arc of Chemung and Schuyler. I was actually just speaking with Casa Trinity. We work with them as well. Office of the Aging, so many different agencies we try to collaborate with or do shared resources with.
And of course, that's ever expanding outside kind of the local area. You did mention when we met, you were, I can't remember the county, but you did mention that somebody quite far away you were collaborating with at the time. But I think that's excellent. I'm going to give everybody a chance to type a question into the chat. If you have a question for Beth, I see Karen is typing currently, so we'll give that a chance to pop up. The question, can you see the question? The question is, do you
Yep.
collaborate? Okay, sorry, you can read it yourself. Sorry.
Yeah, let me pull up the chat. Yeah, it did pop up, so that's good. People Inc. No, I'm not familiar with that one, but I will certainly add them to my list to reach out to see about collaborating.
Yeah, People Inc. is the largest provider of DD services in the West. I believe that's accurate. If not, they're one of the biggest. They're a very large organization, and very good collaborators, by the way. So, yeah, that'd be a really good one.
That's great. Yeah, I have been working with Care Compass and getting onto some different meetings. We're going to be holding the Schuyler County, one of the mental health meetings here on site through, I think it's through Care Compass. Oh, okay. Karen works at People Inc. Nice. All right. Do you do group trainings for the IDD population directly? We have not yet. Like I said, we're fairly new organization and we've just really started to get into the training side of things. But that is something we can definitely incorporate. We have incorporated an effective communication team building training that we've done for Schuyler County Public Health, and we're going to be doing for Steuben County Public Health in April, not next month. April we'll be doing that. So we're looking to expand those training options. So that's great.
Yeah, and Beth, if there's something that you're thinking of that you want to for us to create, because we love to collaborate, and that's really what member relations is here for. So if you're seeing something, you see a need, let us know. If it's not Beth specifically, if it's Beth, her organization and other organizations, we would love to do that. That's exactly why we're here. So we love new ideas. Yeah, day habs, definitely. And there's a lot of community hab center. It kind of we're there's opportunities within community hab for people to put something on to have people come to as well. Yeah, or pre-book. Yeah, I think all those are good ideas. But if again, if you see something specific, a topic area, anybody on the call here, if you see a specific topic area as it relates to, I would say, specific crimes or kind of the categories of crimes, let us know about that too, because I think we can get, Beth, we could probably get pretty specific with the resources, right? This is obviously meant to be an overview, but yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I did this as a kind of like light overview of different crimes, some of the more common ones, but we can certainly do it like a deep dive into various options. I know the outreach person with Lifespan for the Fraud Scam Prevention Task Force, she has some great training materials on that and can do a great training as well. So I can collaborate with her to do more deep dive, since the fraud scam prevention or frauds and scams tend to be the most prevalent you see. Yeah, tech scams they're getting smarter and smarter with them. And
now AI is adding even more complication to that, unfortunately. Oh yeah, so you probably see Kristen's comment in there, Beth. Kristen's a great collaborator as well, and really great resources for her self-advocacy team that she oversees. So yeah, that's a great opportunity.
Yeah, definitely reach out. I've been finding Steuben County area has been lacking on victim support services when I try to find resources for clients. So I'm always happy to reach out to that area.
Great. Karen and Beth are typing again, so we're going to give them a minute. But I want to thank you, Beth, for coming today. It was a real pleasure to meet you and visit your site, your location, and learn about the Justice Center of the Southern Tier.
I did forget to mention we have started support groups for survivors of trauma, abuse, domestic violence. We have a men's group that meets bi-weekly on Tuesdays, and we just started up a women's group to do a trial run limited session bi-weekly on Thursdays, 5:30 to 6:30. Right now, they're just in person. I have to try to get the technology to expand it to offer virtually, but that is something I hope to offer in the near future.
And again, Karen, put them in touch with me or Stella, and we'll get something arranged. We'd love to team up. We're doing kind of doing a member relations advertisement here, Beth, if you don't mind for just a quick second. But we are we are trying to team up with self-advocacy groups on a number of topics. We're working with a couple groups on how to run your own life plan, how to choose. We're going to do a presentations at Donnie and Sandy's regional conference on still remind me how to choose your own care coordinator. And typically that has a large communication component around that. So yeah, if you want, you certainly can contact Beth directly. Member relations is always willing to kind of help make those connections as well. Great. Let me make sure we got everybody.
Oh, Craig, you want to advance to the slide with my contact information too for some of the
Yep, for sure. Thank you.
service providers? There we go.
There we go. Yep.
I have a lot of experience doing trainings. My background is in the medical field and program management. So I facilitated many trainings over the years. So I'm always happy to create new ones to help with victim awareness.
Yeah, the 211 is a great resource as well. And well, Kristen, I'll talk to you about that kind of offline. There are other similar resources popping up all over the place. I'm trying to get everybody to get on the same page under 211, but everybody wants to do their own thing. Beth, again, thank you. This has been very informative. We appreciate your organization and what you're doing for victims of violence, particularly those with intellectual and developmental disabilities. So I know we'll be working together soon on something, and I hope everybody on the line here takes advantage of Beth and her organization to provide additional resources to the people that you're serving. So thank you everybody for attending, and thank you, Beth.
Yeah, thank you for having me. And also, I did want to reiterate, I completely forgot to mention that somebody can utilize our therapy services for free, even if it's not an active crime. If they're still dealing with something that may have happened in their childhood or past, it doesn't have to be an active crime. They can come utilize our services for free at no cost.
Great. That's certainly an important factor to point out. So thank you so much for that. All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much. And with that, I did want to add, just keep an eye out for future member empowerment series webinars. We post them on our website. We do a ongoing webinar called Member Connections, and it's just really going through resources for people who largely it's targeted at people who are new to our new to care coordination, but not necessarily. It's a very good resource for anybody. So if you're interested in those, check out our website and you can register for those. And there are 5 more of those that are going to occur this year. We have a member empowerment series on financial planning and benefits coming up. Can't tell you what month. I should have put a slide on. I did not. And we have a couple others in the works that are that people enjoy. Stella and I are both trained facilitators for supported decision making. So if you have need information on supported decision making, which is an alternative to guardianship in New York State, you can reach out to us for that. And we appreciate everybody's attendance. We'll
Thank
see you hopefully at the next one.